Welcome back, YouTubers, to our 50-second Q&A, which means that the British Fist have been doing Q&As for now a whole year, and that is a massive feat for us and a very important feat for us, isn't it, MJ?
Well, the Q&A being a creative thing, interaction with you guys, it's helped us to get us to where we are today, so we thank you very much, and we do really appreciate the questions you've been sending in on a weekly basis.
Yes, on a very regular basis as well. And I think one thing I want to say to you guys is, these Q&As are a chance to interact with you guys, to answer your questions, to get our opinions out there on some of your guys' questions. And it is really nice being able to make these Q&As a part of our weekly video schedule. I must admit, I know we record these generally 3 at a time, but I must admit, looking at some of the YouTubers' names, looking at some of the questions people send us in, out of all the videos we do, some of these are the most enjoyable videos to do because they're just so creative. We really don't know what to expect, do we?
No, that's the thing I like about the Q&As. The questions are really varied. Yes, a lot of them are rest related, which you can feel free to ask us personal questions if you would like. But these questions have been really, really different in many ways. Some of them made us think, some of us made us laugh, some of us would just basically give you straight up answers. So I really like how you keep communicating and giving us more and more each time.
Yeah, and the fact you guys have given us so many questions to go a year long. I mean, we have kept all the questions we've had from all the previous Q&As, and just put it this way, guys, we have a lot of pages of questions, and we couldn't thank you guys enough for giving us these questions to last us a year. I mean, when we first started these weekly Q&A sessions, I really didn't think that we'd be getting enough questions to really last us a year, and the fact we have, I think it just shows that we have some, really good subscribers and really good watchers out there that, we really need to respect.
And the thing about this is that when people ask us one set of questions, they don't stop there. They come up with more each time. You're very committed to our videos. We thank you very much. Hopefully, with the videos we're making, you keep on sticking with us and keep more coming.
Yeah, and we do want to keep hearing your questions, guys, because things keep changing in the wrestling business. Things keep changing in life, and there's always different questions out there to ask us. So keep sending in your questions, guys, and we will keep providing you with Q&As, and we will always, no matter what, we will always at some point answer your questions.
And talk about change, yes, we don't change our clothes in some of our videos, but we do change.
There are changes being involved, but there we go. Yes. So Q&A number 52, MJ. We've outlined how much this means to us, and I think we should do what we do best, and that is get straight into this Q&A. Subscribe above as usual, like this video as usual, comment any thoughts you have down in that comment section below as usual, as we do like to invite you guys to give us your opinions on the questions we have answered, and continue to send questions in through the YouTube inbox, through commenting down below, or through our Facebook, facebook.com/British Fist.
And you find all the links in the big box below.
And indeed, and you managed to get your bit in there as well, MJ. Very well creatively done there, kind of like we're going to be doing with these questions today. The first question we have in this Q&A number 52, the year anniversary of our Q&As, is from Howard the Man. It's a question to do with Big Show, which is very ironic on this day. Why do you think Big Show has been treated like a clownish buffoon? Lately, he's been involved in this whole John Laurinaitis thing. I think they're literally doing it to... I really don't know why they're doing it. They made him cry. They made him beg for his job. They're doing it all to get heel heat on John Laurinaitis. That's what it's all about. It's to get heel heat on John Laurinaitis.
Well, I'm going to go back a bit further than that. Since he turned face, he's not been the Big Show that we thought he was. Yes, he's got over. The fans love him. But when I look at Big Show, I think of him signing with the McMahons, being a strong, dominant heel, ECW champion, a strong heel. So there's with the clowning around, as you say, I don't personally like it. It's over. He's getting his way to help the WWE, but him clowning around is just not my style. No,
and he also asked, what is your favourite Big Show comedy skit? Santa? I don't know, I can't really think of any others, really. Not that were funny, anyway.
That's one. And Big Show thinking he could be a face.
And Big Show in a sumo match against Akabona at WrestleMania, what, 23? That was an amazing match. There we go. The next question comes from Here Comes Herpes. Here comes Herpes because herpes spreads, and you generally ask us questions in our Q&A. So there we go. Your name is living up to it. If you and MJ were wrestlers, what would be your gimmick, and would you be face or heel? I'll go to you first, MJ.
Heel all the way. Faces, yes, the fans love faces and that, but it's the heels that bring in the action, the ones who get hopefully should get the concentration on to help the phases out, and we just go dominate the company. And you say, what will our gimmick be? I think it would just be destruction, you know, something dark, destruction, just going in there and just destroying everything. I'd be like Nexus, but we would not make new Nexus and be ruined completely. So that's it.
I think you just love beating guys up, which is why you'd be heel. I mean, I think us as a tag team, we're pretty fucking good in the WWE, just using the British Fist name and etc. If I was going to go on me personally, I'd actually want to be a manager. I'd like to be the talker of a group. I wouldn't really want to wrestle too much. I'm not really think I'm physically fit enough to do it. But I would love to be like a heel manager. I think that would be a perfect role for someone like myself, because I do find myself I do think I'm pretty well spoken. So
that is a good way, because obviously it's the managers that get the concentration in the future, because obviously people remember the managers like Ric Flair, Heyman. Yeah, so they're the ones who get the concentration on the future. So I think our faction would work.
Our faction would definitely work. You as the wrestler, me as the manager. But we can be a tag team too, brother. British Fist indeed. Mr. Jermaine, 69, asks us a question on this year-long anniversary Q&A. If Lesnar wouldn't have left the company in 8 years, what feuds would you have liked to have seen him in? Wow, so many.
There is one.
Yeah.
The Triple H one could have happened earlier, so which is more in his time and that, you know, more ready to wrestle and that. So that's one.
Austin, I think, would have been another one. Austin was a big name at the time that really should have put him over. I think a feud between them two would have been very good for Brock Lesnar at the time.
Following his last WrestleMania match, that could have been a feud to go on to. So yes. I think, again, he's done McMahon, he's done Angle, so I think now he should have gone on to
Batista?
Probably, at that time, Batista, big guy, there's a big guy, stuff like that. But the main two are obviously Triple H and Austin.
The two big names who we never really feuded with. And that would have been maybe who we would have had him feud with. And I think Eddie Guerrero, no, he did feud with Eddie Guerrero, didn't he? He won the title at No Way Out. I don't know why I mentioned that, but there we go. So Lesnar could have had a lot of feuds if he was in the company 8 years ago. So they're doing a feud 8 years too late with Triple H, but there we go. And Austin one would have been good, maybe. And he did have a feud with Taker, so I won't even mention that one. The Nature Girl 30. How ironic that she asked us a question on our year-long anniversary. She recently had her year-long anniversary, didn't she, on her videos? Very well done, Nature Girl. And a shout-out to you.
And she is definitely someone I say you should check out, subscribe, like, and enjoy her videos.
Yeah, she's been around for a year, so she sticks around, guys. I'll just say that. Do you think that the WWE is trying to make John Laurinaitis into the next Vince McMahon? The Vincent Kennedy McMahon. Who's John Laurinaitis? Well, you could say that. They're trying to get as much heat on him as possible as the authority figure.
There will never be another Vince McMahon. No. Even his father would never be Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon is Vince McMahon. Laurinaitis is Laurinaitis. And even Laurinaitis being poor at being Laurinaitis, you know. He should just stay backstage. But Vince McMahon, no one's going to beat him. No one's going to be Vince McMahon. They're
going to try and make John Laurinaitis into the next authority figure that feuds with like the talent, kind of similar to how they had Sting in TNA, how they might do Hogan in TNA as well. So I do see them trying to mold him into the next authority figure, but it will really, you know, obviously we haven't watched Over the Limit yet, so we don't really know what his job status is. So they could well do it. He could well be fired as well. I do think Triple H is the guy they have in mind for that role, personally, though.
It will come to that, yes.
The Awesome 3126. Another great question for this year momentous Q&A. Why do you hate Randy Orton?
There is one thing I'm going to say, because he's a flipping face now.
Yeah, he should never have stopped. He should never have stopped being heel. Even though I do understand why WWE made him a face, because they desperately need faces, especially right now. They have a lack of baby faces. I think the one thing that we both hate about Randy Orton is it seems like his booking really doesn't suit his size, and he's booked like a monster sometimes. Even though recently he hasn't necessarily been that way. The reason why we hated him, let's say for an example, in his feud with Christian, was because he was booked like a fucking monster. He's a babyface. He seems very selfish in the ring. He seems very, very stiff in the ring at times. He never really seems to let the heel get over as much as he really should have. Look at CM Punk last year.
I wouldn't use the word hate. I'm not even close to hating him. It's just that when he turned into a face, I just did not see any groups. It's promo, shout, face, wrestling skills, heel, sorry.
Yes.
Shout. I think about all is screaming out heel, and all I can say is that, oh, I'm a face, I'm going to punt you.
Yeah, you're going to punt my doll, but there we go. My little teddy bear there. Don't punt my teddy bear. I love my teddy bear, NJ. But there we go. So, you know, Orton always did scream out heel, and all I'll say it's good that the WWE has a lot of female fans, because if they didn't have the female fans, I don't think Orton would be faced. But there we go. Notice how every time he comes out, all you hear is females going, "Yay, Randy! You're so hot, Randy! Yeah!" Should we move on?
Please.
JDB Guitar 90. Am I one of the only few that is sick and tired of WWE using fake crowd noise overdubs in their pre-recorded broadcasts? Dum, blum, 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 blum. Am I the only one that's fed up of British Fist using fake crowd noises and fake music noises in their videos? Blum, 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 blum.
Sadly, yes. With the crowd changing over the year, bands coming, going, yeah. They have to somehow make it seem like they're still popular and the wrestlers getting the right reaction. So they're having to pump in some weird noises that sounds like booing, sounds like cheering, so yeah.
I'm not a massive fan of the canned heat, even though if the crowd is quiet, you do need to maybe inject some noise into, especially in WWE on SmackDown, and sometimes in TNA with the Impact Zone. So I'm not a massive fan of canned heat because I feel that the reaction should be natural. The reaction to wrestlers such as Daniel Bryan should continue to be natural. But I do understand why WWE use it. I just don't like the fact they use it to cover the crowd noise.
I don't like it, but again, with the change in the WWE, fans have left, so they have to make up for it, and I don't like it.
No, neither do I, but there we go. We'll move on. Gexplan is a very regular question asker in these Q&As. Would you like to see more Lucha Libre wrestling in WWE or TNA? I think if they were going to see it, I'd rather see it in TNA because I think they do need additions to their X division. I think that's where Lucha Libre style would suit more.
Well, with the cruiserweight and all that left, the WWE now they're concentrating on the higher wrestlers, pushing mid-carders and stuff like that. I think they should go to TNA, boost up the X division, then build whatever they want from there. WWE should concentrate on what they've got now.
Yeah, I mean, there really isn't a place for Lucha Libre wrestling in WWE. You know, Vince McMahon really isn't a massive fan of Lucha Libre wrestling. Whereas TNA with their X division and their recent focus on the X division, you could say, with Austin Aries as the champion, you could see more Lucha Libre guys going into TNA. So, I mean, to see a couple of Lucha Libre guys in the X division wouldn't be half bad, in my opinion.
No, it would be something to look out for if it happens.
Colourful characters, as Lucha Libre guys are. Do you think Karma going to WWE was a big mistake since the WWE Divas division sucks, whereas TNA's knockout division is pretty strong? You can understand why she wanted to go to WWE. She probably wasn't making as much money in TNA as she thought she would, and she thought it was a dream of hers to not just be a mother, but also it was a dream of hers to be in the biggest wrestling company of them all, which was WWE. So you can't blame Karma one bit for, or Kia Stevens as she's known, you can't blame Kia one bit for trying to get into the big time WWE, really, even if their Divas division does suck.
Well, if we do go down the route you were saying that the DVD division sucks, yes, it does. But the thing is, with Karma wanting to be a part of it, to hopefully put over the other divas, give them a chance, give them a push, give them a build, would definitely help them. Long term, maybe it wouldn't, but it will give Karma more money and more of the spotlight because she's in a bigger company.
Yeah, and WWE, you know, when she comes back from her pregnancy, they really, or sorry, lack of a pregnancy. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that. You know, they should definitely push her because she is a big talent, literally a very, very big talent that could be used and be a draw even for the WWE, which is not something you very rarely see from Divas wrestlers, in my opinion, like Chyna and Sable, etc. But there we go. We'll move on to the next question. Another question asker who asked us a question in our last Q&A, Live Forever 329. Do you think that Evolution will ever go into the WWE Hall of Fame, and would they deserve it? Do you see Triple H, Ric Flair, Randy Orton, and Batista getting into the Hall of Fame? Because not as a group. I don't see it happening as a group unless Triple H inducts them all, you know, by himself, without Batista being there, who's currently away from the company, Ric Flair being there, you know, who's currently Ric Flair not being there, who's had two previous Hall of Fames, and Randy Orton, who doesn't really deserve a Hall of Fame yet, in my opinion.
Well, the fact you talk about Hall of Fame, it's normally for wrestlers who have left the business now and they've parted. With the fact that we've still got Orton, Triple H, and Flair floating around in TNA. Yeah. At the moment, it's not the right time, but let's just say they've all left the company and Hall of Fame is still going, the rest of the business is still going. I'd say they were a team that have done great things for the WWE and maybe deserve a spot, but sadly, don't take this the wrong way, people, but when that time comes, maybe Flair won't be there.
His 3 Hall of Fame rings will be somewhere special, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah, and I think, to be honest with you, I think shouldn't really be laughing at that, NJ, but there we go. I think, to be honest with you, if the 4 Horsemen have only just been put into the Hall of Fame, then the Evolution should wait at least another sort of 10 or so years. Maybe do that as a way of introducing Triple H in the Hall of Fame, even though he does deserve his own spot in the Hall of Fame. But I don't think Flair should be a 3-time Hall of Famer. Do I think Batista should be a Hall of Famer? Probably not. Orton, down the line. Triple H, definitely in the future. But there we go. Jamie Ines, New Zealand, the man famous for doing videos under 5 minutes. Let's see if we can answer this question in under 5 minutes. Do you think any of the following tag teams or stables could ever be resurrected with new wrestlers in the future? Start off with the first one. Demolition. With the exuberant characters that Demolitions were, I'm not sure they could really go with that gimmick in WWE right now, if I'm honest.
With Demolition, you've paired 2 big guys up together, you know, and they were dominant in a way. There's a chance that maybe they could form something, but maybe it won't be exactly the same, but not likely.
The Nexus. That's an interesting one, because with me, the Nexus, you can just, you know, even though Nexus was 2 years ago and it was a great faction at the time, which died, I still think you could create a good faction out of, like, FCW talent, or with recently the NXT and FCW tapings combined, you know, using some of that talent, kind of similar to Nexus. You could resurrect it very easily with some FCW talent they've got.
Well, I would say yes, at the same time, a big no. Because the fact they've done it twice now, we've had Nexus, new Nexus, we're going to call it newer Nexus. I think they should just stop, you know. Nexus is a faction that worked, but sadly they've messed up.
Or the newest Nexus, whatever. The Legion of Doom. I think, to be honest with you, recreating the Legion of Doom would be a bad idea because it would really tarnish the legacy of the Legion of Doom. Again, a very colourful gimmick, in my opinion, shouldn't really be tarnished by trying to reinvent it, in my opinion.
No, it was a big group as it was, so I think, to be honest, they should be just kept as they were, a big team, big name. They should be just kept as what they were instead of trying to recreate them in a way.
And the Nation of Domination. I think this is an interesting one because the Nation of Domination was mainly made up of black wrestlers. You had The Rock, D'Lo Brown, Karma. You also had, who else did you have in that group? There was, Mark Henry was in that group. So you could resurrect the Nation of Domination. You could have like R-Truth, Kofi Kingston, Mark Henry. You could have all these black wrestlers in a Nation of Domination group. Imagine that, NJ. That would be pretty awesome, wouldn't it?
They could do it again, quite simply, but at the same time, I think the WWE should be at first more fairer to the black wrestlers.
Oh, yeah,
you know,
definitely.
have them in the main event, win titles.
Mark Henry.
Really precisely. So I'd say at the moment that is the most likely one for me to recreate after they've done more fairness to black wrestlers, but there we go.
Yeah, I mean, Vince McMahon does have should really, I mean, Mark Henry in the main event, again, was really good in the main event. Kofi Kingston's never really got his chance. Neither really did R-Truth, even when he was doing his best work as a heel. But there we go. That just shows you how Vince loves to treat black wrestlers in the WWE. But there we go. In my opinion, I would love to see, not necessarily a new Nexus, but a resurgence of FCW superstars. I would, as a fan and a watcher of FCW, and I know they've got a lot of great talent in there, I would love to see that maybe happen again. Not that I want the new Nexus thing to happen again, but that's the one I would like to see resurrect, just because of my liking of the FCW product, personally. I really think that's all we've got for this Q&A. This 50-second Q&A, this year-long one that we've done. It's a special moment for us, isn't it, MJ?
Yes, it is.
As MJ gets emotional, I'll just say this, guys. Thank you very much for giving us your questions. He's fine, actually. He's a very good actor, as MJ, which is why he'd be great in the wrestling business. There we go. Keep sending in your questions, as you know, and been another great Q&A with you guys. You know, answering your questions and interacting with you, etc. So yeah.
And just like our past year video, it's been a great year for the British Fist. So we thank you very much for all these questions. They've been really good. So keep them coming. Get us to another year, and we'll thank you again. And from Mr. Parkin and me, NJ, tune in for our next video. Until next time, people, goodbye.